Welcome to Mechanical Advantage Garage. I'm Kerry, and today I've got more Corvette content, but it's not the Corvettes you're thinking of. Like most of you, for the holidays I go home to see family, and this time around I went home to see my folks, which means that I get to see this car as well, the 57. That we've had for 20 some odd years. And it also means that I get handed a punch list of things that we need to take care of on the car. Just certain issues and things like minor stuff that I just want to address and that Dad wants addressed, but he wants my help with. And I'll just walk through some of the issues right now so you can see what we're going to cover. Also show you some cool upgrades and some other things that I need to solve for. So should be fun. So first up on the list is, while this car's front end looks great, it has some issues with the grille right here. And I don't know if you can see this here. I mean, I'm sure you can see it. But what's happening is this grille surround here is a reproduction part. The original ones are stamped, but the reproductions are a giant cast piece, and they weigh about 3 or 4 times what the original stock one weighs. These indentations here, they're not actually cracks in the fiberglass. There's tabs that the grill will squeeze onto as part of the tightening process. And what happens with this heavy grill is over time it falls off the tabs and it exposes these holes. There is one small crack that I will have to epoxy, and that's right here. But these are actually cutouts. These are supposed to look this way. And there's a little bit of a tear out right there. But yeah, the idea is that right here, this big tab, the grill pinches onto that, and that's what holds it in place. So I have to take the whole grill apart and readjust it. Not a super hard job, but it does mean that each one of these individual teeth have to come out, and they're held in by 2 different sized nuts on the back side. So good times. One of the other big upgrades here, as you can probably see with this Holley logo, is that these are now LED lights. Yeah, full LED headlights. And they're bright. They're actually a yellow tone, but that's specifically the bulb temperature that Holley had picked. It's called a vintage light color. But the other thing now is Dad wants to do LEDs in the signals and the taillights. So I'm going to have to figure out how to retrofit that so that we have matching LED headlights, taillights, turn signals. I know it's daylight and it might be hard to see, but you know, even though these are LEDs, they really do look like vintage lights, except that they're much, much brighter. And yeah, they're really a good upgrade for this car. They were quite expensive. I'm not going to say how much they were, but they were not cheap. But for the longevity and for the look of it, you know, maybe if I get a chance tonight, I'll take it out for a night drive and you can see the lights for sure on the road. But yeah, I think they were a worthwhile upgrade for this car. So here you can see the brightness of the Holley LED headlights. They're actually quite good. Let me see. Oh, I still got the cover on the front of this side. There we go. So yeah, they're quite bright. They have a little bit of a yellow tint to it, but they have quite a long reach. So seem to work pretty well. I'm actually kind of happy with them, and they look stock. I mean, you can't really tell that that's not a stock headlight, you know, other than the fact it says Holley on it. So yeah, this was a good investment. Well, I was going to show you the issue that we fixed with the Holley Sniper, but I still needed to make adjustments with. But I think I found a new issue with the car, and that is the hood won't open. Right now it's unlatched, but for some reason this is cocked, and while that side's open, this side, the latch won't release. So I'm gonna have to get in here and find a way to unlatch it. So I managed to get the hood open, and here's what's holding it up here. As you can see right here, this is the cable mechanism for the hood release. You know, it just pushes down on that when you pull the hood release, and it releases the lock. Now, while all this is greased really well, this right here, let's see if I can get in here. Right here, this piece, it's not adjusted very well, and it's not greased at all. So I'm going to put a little more grease on here, or white lithium, and see if I can adjust this nut, or this bolt, and maybe that'll make the hood easier to open and close. Those of you who remember my last video on this car will remember that we were having some issues with the throttle winding up too fast. Like it had a tip-in point where it would just really snap open into wide open throttle even when you only had your foot halfway in it. One of the ways we corrected it is we put this extension here. This is actually a Holley part. The original throttle linkage bolts here, but they have this extension part here, and what it does is it creates a slower arc. As you pull the throttle open, it pulls this much slower, and so we have no more snap for the throttle. One of the problems though is that if you look, there's not a lot of hood clearance for this car. I mean, if I can get out to, like, you know, height right here, you can see to the red fender on that side, there's like an inch of clearance. So one of the things we did is, or at least Dad did, is he clearanced the air cleaner. And let me show you that. So here is the air cleaner that we've been using on this car, and it's one of those K&N filter tops. And you can see on the side, it doesn't have a lot of height to it, and it's a drop base. Oops, there goes the bolt. It's a very shallow drop base because it doesn't clear. There's not a lot of clearance here for the linkage, and we've tried other drop bases and they just don't work. So one of the ways that we, or at least Dad, modified this to clear was he took a pair of tin snips and he made this cutout for the linkage, right? So it would clear the throttle. Unfortunately, this is kind of ugly because you can see he was just using a pair of like manual tin snips to get around it. I'm going to clean this up a little bit for him right now with a file. One of the other problems we had was he had a, here it is. He had this piece of rubber in here as a spacer for the filter so that the linkage wouldn't hit the filter in here, because I can show you when you put the filter on it, right, you know, and then you open it, right, there's very little clearance here for it, so you have to get it just right. And yeah, in some cases that would actually impact the filter. So he had this in, this piece of rubber underneath here to space it out, right? But I just had a bad experience where this piece of rubber got caught in the linkage and the car was stuck at half open throttle and winding up, and I had to shut it off to kill it. So let me clean this up, and we're going to try and figure out something to make sure it doesn't hit this this filter when it flows, when it moves freely. This is probably going to hurt your ears. Well, it's not as jagged as it was before, but it's not show perfect either. But then again, nobody's going to see it, you know, while they're, because I don't think anybody's going to take this air cleaner off and they're not going to be looking underneath the car. One of the other challenges, though, I'm going to have to figure out about is keeping this from rotating, because one of the things we don't want is to go on at full throttle, have the pan vibrate rotating, and then you know, it won't return the throttle spring, and then I'm stuck at wide open throttle. So I'm going to figure out some tacky solution here for putting this so that it clears, and then we'll bolt this all back together. So this is the part where I can feel like a bunch of you are going to wince a little bit. I need to get this base plate to sort of stick on the bottom, well, on the top of the throttle body for the Holley Sniper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean it with acetone, and then I've got some Permatex gasket sealant that I'm just going to go in and hit this little edge here with. Now, I'm not trying to seal it to the top of the throttle body. I'm going to let this tack up fully, and hopefully what it does is it just creates a high friction sort of gummy surface as a dried gasket that'll keep it from moving around. So we're going to try and do that, and then I'll go clean up the throttle body while it's curing. So now I'm just going to let this tack up a little bit. I got both sides. And then I'll clean up some of the overspray with that acetone that I have. But for right now, I just want this to get like nice and hard and gummy so that this doesn't move around while it's on the engine. So now I'm going to go clean up that throttle body. So one of the downsides to living in a salt air environment is you get all sorts of schmutz and stuff built up around the carburetor. And this, I'm not even sure what this stuff is, but it looks kind of gross. So I'm just going to take some steel wool to it right now and just sort of clean it up so that the Permatex has something to grip to right here. You can see a lot of this stuff is coming right off. You know, these Holley units, they're really usually very nicely polished. I don't know what's, you know, pulling in here, if this is like fuel drying or whatnot, but
don't scratch it.
Okay. You know.
Where's the plate?
So let's just clean this up here. All right, so now I've cleaned up the top of the throttle body.
Yeah,
all that stuff was, it's all gone now, and looks pretty clean. And nothing got really inside. And you can see these. This is the real neat part about the Holley Snipers. They're like a square bore carburetor, but with opposing butterflies. It's actually kind of a neat setup. All right, so now that the Permatex is dried and I cleaned it up a little bit, or the overspray a little bit with some acetone, I'm just going to set this in here, and we got to set it up so that there is free movement here.
Front and back.
Yeah, front and back. And right there would be about the right spot for it.
Probably here. Hold. There we go.
Okay. So that's full movement there. And then let's put the...
We should be able to get a gasket for this, and that would make it better.
Probably. We'll make one if we need to. But...
Move the throttle again.
Alright, so the air cleaner's in. And I am seeing full movement, and the air cleaner's not moving. And then we'll put the filter top on, and those go with the rib toward the front. There we go. Now, where'd the bolt go? Okay, did you check what size that was so that we could tighten it?
I'll get it right now.
Because I'll hold this in place.
You don't have to, it's on right.
Okay, I'll hold this in place, and you can thread that in. Okay, just tighten it down so it's...
Let go. Is it going in?
Yeah, okay, now you can tighten it down. That's a gear wrench. You could just rock it back and forth.
Is that turning?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and then just check the linkage one more time.
Go ahead.
All right, something's hitting now. There we go.
Oh, that's not good. It's got to go the other way.
Let's see. Let me see what's hitting it underneath here. Okay. So
It's hitting. Oh, that's no good. Here,
all right, I can see.
do it. It's hitting the thing.
Hang on, keep moving it a little bit.
It ain't gonna help.
All right, yeah.
This is
Wait a second. I think I got a solution.
And then I'll cut it here,
Yeah.
and we'll take off the this piece. Take this off. Give me the filter,
Okay.
and then I'll cut this out
Why don't you get the tin snips?
because they're too big.
Okay.
Okay, you know what? Maybe a file or something with it. Let me get the razor blade. Let's do that. Looks better.
Is that better or is it not enough?
Well, we're gonna find out. Let's test fit it.
Okay. That's it. Try the level.
Hang on. It shifted. Okay.
That's it?
That's it. Oh, wait.
Got it back. Right there.
That's it right there.
Okay, let me
All right,
do one
tighten
more
it
tight.
down.
It is tight, but I'm going to tighten
Okay.
it more.
That's not the right. You're holding it by the end you were screwing it in from before. Okay, there you go.
That's what you need. That's it.
That's it. Okay, that's not going anywhere. All right, now the next thing is to test drive the car and see if we can hear any noises or if the throttle gets stuck.
Let me get that.
So one of the other things I need to tackle today is underneath the car here. And when this car has two full-grown male adults in it, we're getting a grinding noise that we've traced to the drive shaft right here. And I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can get in here a little bit better. Looking for a better spot. Hang on. Where's that? It's hard to see with the exhaust in the way, but yeah, here we go. There's the drive shaft, and you can see it's got a groove worn into it. And the reason it has a groove worn into it is, if you can see this round disc next to it, that is the washer for the seatbelt bolt. And on the other side here, let's see if we can get in there so you can see it. You can see there's the other one. So what's happening is, these cars didn't originally come with seatbelts, so the tunnel doesn't really accommodate them very well. And as the car goes down and the leaf springs, the axle moves around a little bit, the drive shaft is hitting into the seatbelt nuts. So We're going to remove these and probably replace them with button head Allens, but the thing is to get them out right now. So I'm going to work on that part of it. Here we can see we have the seats out of the car, and this will give you an idea where the seatbelt sits. It just sits right here. It's got a sandwich plate, a metal plate on this side, a metal plate on the other side. That was that big disc you saw, that big washer. But you can see this is not a very wide tunnel, right? Because there's the other seatbelt bolt. So anything sticking through on that side will not clearance very well. So, like I said, we're probably going to end up replacing it with some button head Allens, because that'll make it easier to clear. And then we'll put the nut on this side, on the interior of the car. Cars were not required to have seatbelts till 1965. I think we had put these in just for peace of mind, even though they're lap belts. They do make a shoulder belt for these cars now that bolts in up here. And honestly, the whole car is fiberglass and it's not very well reinforced. So I'm not sure how much that would help in an accident with this car. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but this is actually an original 63-year-old 1957 seat bottom. Like, this is not a recover on an original frame. This is the actual original seat, and that is the underside of an actual original seat. It's pretty ugly. These are canvas wrap springs. They could probably stand there and be redone. But one of the downsides to having original unripped 1957 seats in your car is that when you sit on them, it leaves all this foam dust behind. Now, I'll be honest, being 6'5", I don't really fit in this car. I have to drive it without the seat back in here in order to fit in it. And so we're probably going to do something about the seats coming up. But for right now, we've got to vacuum this out before we put the new seat in, or put the old seat in. See, now, nice and clean. What? And now we're going to put the seat on. Yeah, there you go. Now the car is ready for a drive. Fuel pump in. All right, neutral. Okay. Ignition. Put the lights on. Is that lights on?
Yeah.
Oh, those new Holley lights are bright.
And I gotta just adjust them. They'll be fine. Right in the middle.
Nobody's coming.
Clear.
Guess we'll head down to the airport.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Feels different already.
A little.
No, I know. It would have had a screech there.
Well, let's get on the road now. See if
Don't
we can
signal.
get it.
Yeah. Hand signals.
Okay, hand signals.
Clear this side.
Okay.
That was it.
That was a stone just hit. Yeah, I don't hear
Anything.
anything hitting.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I was trying to.
Yeah, I know that. But it's,
Alright. Throttle doesn't seem to be hanging up either.
yeah, you take your time with it though. You know what to do.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that it doesn't vibrate and move
Me
around.
too. Me too.
You know.
I want to get a couple of gaskets and we'll raise it up a little bit and there'll be no problem.
Right. Or, you know, we can make a cardboard gasket.
Yeah, that's all we have to do.
Whoa. Look at that.
Just watch for cops. here.
Like people more than cops, there's people walking down the road.
Yeah, cops and deer. It's God, Gary. That was what it was.
It was the seatbelt not hitting the drive shaft.
Yeah, I can't believe that. Look at all these people. Yeah, be careful, be careful. No, that's what it is. It's gone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the seat belts onto, get them welded onto the seat.
Yeah.
And then put more bolts to hold the seat down.
We're going to put those seats in, aren't we?
We're going to see.
Alright.
There we go. This is a beautiful ride.
Oh yeah. Well here, being at the beach, right? This is...
That's a big difference. I knew it as soon as we backed it out.
Yeah.
What's this guy? Is this a cop?
No, it's a Volvo. Yeah, get the jetty.
Okay, back it
Yeah, no, there's a whole family down there. That's what they're doing. Alright. There's... Go.
Boy, this is lined up. The headlights are a little high.
It's because we were sitting in the car lot.
No, it's because I just did it by eye. I didn't measure it. I didn't put the tape on the wall and do the whole thing.
That was about half throttle.
Yeah, watch those people.
Oh, I'm not gonna go fast.
Yeah,
I want to make sure the throttle's not gonna hit if I open it all the way.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll go out to the main road and open the thing.
I want to get back to the house. I got to put this away before it gets dark, and your mother's got another half hour on the turkey.
Okay.
So let's get set up. Try to bright some of this.
There's bright switch
Foot
on the
pedal.
floor.
Yeah, there it is. Wow.
Boy, those brights are hugely different. Okay, there we go.
You're on bright.
There's the deer.
Yeah, you're on bright now.
Oh, there's another deer. That's a lot of deer. There we go. Brights.
These are nice lights, right?
Yeah.
I think they're pretty close. Here's these people.
I see.
Okay, I can't see.
Oh, I can see it fine. Happy Thanksgiving. It's such a New York greeting. Happy Thanksgiving. Same to you.
That's it. That was what the whole problem was.
Okay. I'm still in first gear here. I'll get it in a second. Alright, we're up to 174 in the temp.
75, yeah.
Boy, first is hard to get in
If you're not, you gotta come.
Throttle moves completely freely through the travel, so there's no issue with that.
And there's no issue with the scraping.
Nope.
This car is running great now. What a big
Now
difference.
it's warmed up.
Well, there's also, we're big in here, and it's not hitting anything now.
Right.
I'll show you the zip cap. This needs a tune-up.
Well, we still need this tune-up from the Holley.
Yeah.
It's still in open learning mode.
So that's going to do it for about this video on the 57. I don't think I could get to all the tasks, but we got some of them sorted away, and now the car's running a little bit better. We're going to have to figure out tuning for the car at some point. The Holley's still in open learn mode, and at some point we need to lock it down. But it is colder out because it is Thanksgiving right now. And so it's about 50 degrees, which is unseasonably warm, but colder than the car is normally used to. So it's sort of hunting a little bit for fueling. Otherwise, it's running great. And now the air cleaner issue and the Holley Sniper issue with the throttle linkage is sorted. And the seatbelt bolts grinding into the drive shaft is sorted. We can start to do some more shakedown in the car and figure out what other problems it has and start fixing those. So that's it for this episode. I will see you next episode. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you like what you see, hit me up in the comments. If you don't like it, hit me up in the comments. And that's it. I'll see you next episode.